The chamber lights dimmed as the final Exile rune ignited, burning crimson across the towering crystal pillars. A shudder rippled through the assembled delegates. Tall-plumed Avarin, stone-skinned Dravari, the serpentine Kesht, every species exhaled as if a burden had finally lifted. The Galactic Council had made its choice. Humanity, the upstart species from a blue world on the spiral's outer edge, was officially exiled from all interstellar territory. No trade, no travel, no rights, no voice. The verdict echoed like a hammer strike across the hall. Many cheered, their relief obvious. For decades, humanity's rapid rise had shaken the galaxy's old power balance. Their technology leapfrogged centuries of research. Their adaptability defied every known biological model. And worst of all, humans possessed a kind of stubborn unpredictability no council species could map or contain. They were too fast, too clever, too human. And that frightened the galaxy more than any weapon. Still, as the cheers grew louder, a few seasoned elders felt a prickling sense of unease. Humans were emotional, yes, but they were also planners. Strategists who rarely reacted without preparing a dozen moves ahead. The council's vote had been public. The debates had been broadcast. Humanity had known what was coming long before the final rune glowed red. Yet the humans had done nothing. No protests, no counter-arguments, no desperate political maneuvers. They had simply watched, silent and unreadable. Delegate Corrin of the Veil leaned toward his aide, voice trembling. "Why did they not resist?" he whispered. "Why did they accept exile?" The aide swallowed hard. "Perhaps they fear us, Elder." But Corrin knew fear when he saw it, and humans never displayed it quietly. A cold thought crept into his mind as the celebrations swelled around him. What if humanity's silence wasn't surrender? What if it was preparation? The exile decree traveled at near light speed, flashing across communication relays from Earth's orbiting stations to the outermost research colonies. By the time the message arrived, 40 hours had passed since the Council's vote. The galaxy expected panic, fear, and chaos. Instead, Earth's response was almost casual. Humans went about their business with calm precision, as if the Council's decision were nothing more than a minor scheduling inconvenience. Beneath the surface, however, every human on the planet had been quietly preparing for decades. The cities were already mapped for evacuation, every building a node in a larger, automated exodus. The spaceports had been retrofitted with stealth hangars, and cargo ships were pre-stocked and strategically stationed. Entire fleets, unknown to any alien race, had been built in hidden orbital yards, tested in secret, and kept cloaked. The humans didn't need panic. They had already orchestrated their departure with the meticulous patience of a species that understood both the fragility and the potential of life. As transmission signals from the Council reached Earth, human command centers received them, logged them, and acknowledged them with a polite, "Thank you for your message." No protests, no pleading, no justification. Just quiet efficiency. At the orbital docks, the first ships lifted into the void, engines silent, leaving only ghostly contrails shimmering in the faint light of the sun. Deep space colonies powered up simultaneously. Boarding completed, systems synchronized. Families, crews, scientists, and soldiers, all moved with seamless coordination, as though the entire species had rehearsed this day for centuries. When the Council's observers tried to intervene, they found empty control rooms, abandoned cities, and vacant orbital stations. Humanity had not waited to be told twice. They had already made the choice, already set the wheels in motion, and already left the galaxy to wonder what force had silently, politely, and irreversibly vanished from the stage. When the Galactic Council's enforcement fleet arrived in Earth's orbit, they expected resistance. They prepared to blockade the planet, to lock down every spaceport, to detain anyone attempting escape. Voracious scanners swept the surface, scanning for heat signatures, movement, or any signs of the species that had so defiantly defied the galaxy. What they found instead was bewildering. Earth was empty. Cities gleamed under sunlight, streets perfectly maintained, but not a human moved. Vehicles were parked as if their owners had stepped away for a moment, yet no one returned. Parks were silent, markets abandoned mid-transaction, schools vacant. It was as though the planet had been meticulously stripped of life, leaving only the architecture and the faint hum of automated systems. Even the oceans, teeming with marine life, reflected an uncanny stillness. The orbital stations told the same story. Observation decks showed empty corridors and lifeless control rooms. Laboratories stood fully operational, instruments waiting for hands that were gone. Every colony scattered across nearby moons and asteroids mirrored the pattern. Not one human remained. Panic rippled through the Council fleet. Communications tried to reach the planet, but every channel returned silence or pre-recorded acknowledgments, calm and polite. Reports from reconnaissance drones made the situation even more surreal. All Earth-based defenses were intact, systems functional, but no operators remained. As officers struggled to comprehend, an uneasy realization took hold. Humanity had not been exiled. Humanity had vanished. They had anticipated the Council's decree and acted before it could be enforced. The species that the galaxy had tried to control, suppress, and contain had quietly, efficiently, and deliberately removed itself from the stage. The Council had intended to punish humans, yet in doing so, they had revealed the terrifying truth. The humans had already left, and now the galaxy was blind to where they might appear next. Then the transmission arrived. It was simple, brief, and unmistakably human. A single voice, calm, measured, and confident, cut through the silence of the Council's command channels. There was no apology, no plea, no explanation for their disappearance. Instead, the voice delivered a single sentence that would echo across every star system. If you feared what we would become, you should have feared what we already were. Panic spread among the Council fleets. Ships scanned, recalibrated, and analyzed. But the human presence remained undetectable. No energy signatures, no heat emissions, no patterns in space traffic. Yet everywhere they looked, the evidence of humanity's meticulous planning was undeniable. Entire fleets that had been built in secret now materialized from cloaked positions around the solar system, silent, perfect, and invisible, until that precise moment. Orbital yards, hidden stations, and remote colonies that had vanished from galactic records now revealed themselves, engines powered down, ships lined in formation as if awaiting a single command. The Council watched in stunned silence as humans began moving, not recklessly or with brute force, but with calculated elegance. Their ships slipped past the blockades, navigating asteroid fields and planetary rings with precision that no AI could match. They did not fire, they did not destroy. They simply executed their exodus as a species that had anticipated every possible countermeasure. The calmness of the human voice, repeated across every channel, carried a weight no alien could ignore. Humanity had not been exiled. They had chosen to leave, on their own terms, leaving nothing behind but awe, confusion, and fear. The galaxy realized too late that humans were not just adaptable, not just resilient. They were masters of strategy, patience, and execution on a scale no other species could comprehend. And somewhere beyond the edge of known space, humanity's fleets disappeared into the stars, leaving a single undeniable truth. The galaxy could never underestimate humans again.